Good
Good
morning.
morning, my Lise. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good, but we're both lying a little bit here because we both have, I don't know, cold, second degree
Excuse
flush.
me.
Not sure what we've got, but
I'm not sure what it is. I think I picked up something on the plane back home because, I was under the palm trees a week ago. I'm kind of missing it, but yeah, yeah, there's a lot of people coughing on the plane, so
yeah.
eh.
So how was the weather on your trip? What was
Oh
it?
my God.
Dominican, right?
Dominican Republic. Yeah, I went to Dominican Republic and spent 5.5 days there because unfortunately, like that big snowstorm we had kind of set us back a day and a half. We lost. Thank you, old school Dave. Yes, I did have a great vacation. So yeah, it set us back a day and a half because and it was weird because we were in the car driving to Montreal. We were like getting out of Cornwall, getting ready to get on the 401, and I used my phone to try to check into my flight because you can check in via the app, you can check into
Yep.
your flight. So I'm trying to check into my flight, and then it says you cannot check into your flight because you're not less than 24 hours away from taking the plane. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, what the hell? Like, yeah,
You're,
I'm taking the flight at 4 o'clock, like I'm on my
yeah.
way. Anyway, so I investigated, and sure enough, it had been
Postponed.
postponed to the next day. And then the next day it was postponed again to later that day. I was supposed to take off at 4, and we took off like at 9 o'clock at night. And incidentally, I saw my friend Jenny McDonald at the airport. She
Oh,
was flying to Cuba, going to the resort we went to with Mateo last year. And so she was there, and we met.
that's weird. That's weird
Yeah.
when you go all the way to Montreal, right?
Yeah, her
Then
flight was also delayed, not by so much, but, I think it was like 8 hours or something,
because
but it
I
was
thought
funny we
your
were there at the same time.
I I thought your delay was more from that airplane that ended up upside down in Cuba.
I think it was kind of, like a combination of things, because, like, the flight that tipped upside down, that kind of, caused delays, but the snowstorm also did, like, because we had 2 back to back, right? So
Yeah.
it was but I'm just thankful because some people got their whole trip canceled completely. So
Oh
at
my
least I got five and
God.
a half days. So
And
yeah.
you got out there on a plane that didn't land upside down. That would be just horrendous. Like I'm
No,
flying.
but John's seat belt, like when we're leaving, he sits on his seat and the seat belt is just not locking. Like
Oh
it's loose, like it's coming
yeah.
undone like very easily. So he's telling the guy like my seat belt ain't working, and the guy's all nonchalant, so oh meh, it's okay. John is like, no, it's not okay. Like if this plane flips upside down, I need a fucking seat belt that's gonna tie me in. Anyway, so he had to switch seats, but yeah.
And
Um
that didn't
it's
worry you? Because I'm already thinking ahead for September when I fly to Calgary. I'm like, oh my God, I would never in a
well, you
million
know what,
years have
it's
expected that to
you
happen
know
to a
what, my
plane.
lease, it's still safer to fly than it is to
Yes,
drive.
it is.
So that's the way I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it like if it's my time, it's my
Yep.
time. you know
Yeah. That's
um
how I always looked at flying too. If it's my
mhm.
time to go, there's nothing
I'm
I
not
can
gonna
do.
stop. I'm not gonna stop flying. Like I love traveling too much to
Yeah.
stop flying. So, but it is kind of worrisome because there's more and more like we hear about it almost every day. Like a couple
Yeah.
of days ago, there was a plane crash that was nearly like nearly happened. It was like the planes were coming in like this, and they were going to crash into each other, and this one just went boom, like way up. But I don't know what's going on, man. Like the flight traffic controllers, or I don't know, it's like they're not, I don't know if it's a
Well,
Trump thing that he fired a whole bunch of people at the FAA. I don't know, but It's kind of
Well,
worrisome.
I know years ago I flew to England, Julia, and I looked out the window and I swore I could have touched the plane that was beside us.
Oh
That's
my God.
how close we were. So
So
that,
you know what happened to us when we landed over there in Dominican Republic? So the guy goes and he turns around, and then apparently this is very common, but I've never experienced that before. Anyway, so the guy goes and he gets to land the plane, and he goes down, and we're almost touching down, almost, and all of a
mm-hmm.
sudden, vroom, he goes
Yep,
right back up, and I'm
yep.
like, what the hell's going on here? Like, and with the plane that had flipped over, like I'm kind of nervous, right? Because it just happened. Anyways, turns out he had misaligned the plane to the runway. So he
Okay.
had to go back up and turn around and try again. And I'm like, what kind of a pilot is that? Like that he misaligns the runway.
Well,
I'm like, okay, that's kind of worrisome.
my daughter got
Anyways,
one better
yeah.
when she flew to Cornwall last June. The pilot did that, came down, went back up, tried again, got to go down. Katrina says she saw the wheels, like they go down. She saw the runway. It goes up a second time.
Oh no.
And she tried to land a second time. Katrina said by that time, all the puke bags were full because everybody felt like they were on a roller coaster. She thought she was going to die for sure. And the plane was supposed to land in Montreal. It ended up flying to Toronto, sitting on the tarmac for about 3.5 hours, and then flying back to Montreal. And that time, the plane was able to land. So then
Dear
this
daughter.
this was in June. Yeah, this was
Oh
in
my
June.
God, that's
So
insane.
when I took her to the airport a week later when she was flying back to Calgary, she texts me and she goes, "Oh my God, Mom, I think it's the same pilot that tried to land the plane in Montreal that's flying me back to Calgary." She goes, "Wish me luck." I
I
thought,
was
oh
like,
my
is
God.
this like a rookie or something? Has he ever landed a plane before? Like, it was really weird. Anyway, so that's it for my vacation talk.
So I
I don't
didn't
want
do
to take any
anything.
more time because we have a full show today.
I didn't do anything exciting except I was in a wedding show in Brockville on Thursday on election day. But you had the best time. I had a good time too. A lot of wedding talk, a lot of brides, but no beach in that scenario. Anyway, we need to get to our reason for doing the first Monday of every month, and that is
Hmm.
to do appraisals. So we have
It's
John
our
Grow.
very own little antique roadshow.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to introduce John. He was with us last month, but for anybody
Excuse me.
who didn't watch the show, we have to reintroduce you, John. So John Grow is a partner in the appraisal firm Prestige Evaluations Inc. And they specialize in antiquities, watches, clocks, fine arts, and collectibles in general. And John also writes a column in The Seeker called For What It's Worth. So John comes on to the show every month, first Monday of the month, and he does appraisals for us. And we are so thankful for that. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Excuse me.
So what do we have today?
Okay, what do we have? What is the first item that we have?
I'm gonna put this one, but
So
I think
basically,
there's
this is
sound
it.
to it, so because it's a little
It's a
video.
portable, antique 1800s Pepin organ. And Pepin pump organ. And it definitely works. Haven't opened it in years. Definitely works. I'm not a organist or... So she works all great. I had it willed to me about 25 years ago, about 20 years ago. And the fellow that willed it to me told me it was his great grandfather's. He used to travel in a traveling church, and they used to go to townships and have their prayers and do their sermons. And this is the organ that they would take with them. And it was on the back of a wagon, and it folds up. It's like a little box. If you're looking at the photos, it's pretty compact. And yeah, so like I said, it's a Pepin organ. And I was offered $10,000 for it about 15 years ago, and I didn't take it because, like I said, it was willed to me. But if there's any offers out there, I don't think I'd take any less for it 15 years later either. So, yeah.
So that's the organ, and we have like photos here.
Mhm.
Okay. The Canadian company, the founder of the Pepin Organ Company is a gentleman by the name of Guédon Pepin. He's originally from Quebec. He played in churches throughout Quebec, and then he was sent to Quebec City to study music from the local parish priest. Then he made his way to the Yukon, and then from the Yukon he moved to Edmonton, where he had a very large family, and he was repairing and building organs and repairing pianos, tuning pianos, and also playing in the church. The unit that you have over here, condition is everything. You have a lot of veneer that has come off. The wood is aged. It hasn't been, let's say it has seen better days. The wood would have to be cleaned with a special solution to bring out the richness in the unit. In looking at the marketplace and looking at the availability of these units were copied from an American company that started out in about the 1880s, just for doing portable church revivals. A lot of times, smaller communities did not have a church, but they did have a space, and a lot of these places did not have electricity, which is why this was a manually pump organ. So you would have a revival or a church service with candles and somebody playing the pipe organ. They are somewhat unique. There's many variations. At the large antique flea markets in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut, you do see one or two pop up. Some of them in very pristine condition. And those people are usually asking around $2,000 to $3,000 for a pristine, fully working unit that really doesn't have any wood damage, no warping. The keys would be ivory or some sort of a bony bone material. Your best bet right now would be to contact a museum in the Edmonton area, because the marketplace is basically the Edmonton marketplace. People from that area would know the company, know the history. There would be an attachment to the history of this piece, and you would be able to get a taxable donation receipt. If somebody offers you a great pile of money and they just have to have it, go for it. But usually these do not sell more than $2,000 to $3,000 US, but in pristine condition. Of course, you might have somebody who is a great grandson of the maker of the organ, who has to have it at almost any price. Well, not almost any price, but at a very, very good price that would be advantageous. But finding that individual might be very hard. You would have to go to genealogy records to see who the ancestry is of today. I hope that helps. I would question somebody offering $10,000 for this piece unless there was some sort of family connection to the original manufacturer.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
Or
that's it
or
for the
either
organ.
or either if you do get an offer like that, get it written on paper.
Oh, definitely. I mean, a lot of people could say, oh, they'll give whatever, but when it comes time to pony up the money, sometimes those two things are totally different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next item on the block. We have.
Okay, cutlery. In the photos I have seen, the most important part of the photo that I'm looking for is the back of the fork, spoon, or knife. I'm looking for hallmarks. These are stamped images.
Okay.
And I'm also looking for the word sterling.
Okay.
Anything from 1870 on, any silver by law, and it has been accepted throughout Europe, North America, it would have the word sterling for sterling silver, which is 0.925, which is pure silver. Now, a lot of these cutleries would not be 100% silver because silver is fairly malleable. You could bend it very easy. So usually it's an alloy of sometimes nickel steel, and it will be silver plated. There is value because there are ways to extract the silver from the plating or the plating process. And as the price of silver goes up, the cost of extracting the silver makes it a lot more advantageous. But right now, no evaluation could be done because it could be any type of metal. It could be stainless steel. I can't tell. And because I
Mm-hmm.
can't tell, it's very hard to say what the potential value is. And if it is marked sterling, then each piece would have to be weighed because you would have anywhere from 5 to 7 grams of silverware per item. So a knife could be 4 grams of silver. A spoon could be 5 grams. But when it comes to knives and forks, they usually have an alloy like nickel silver or another alloy that would be mixed in. It wouldn't be pure 100% silver.
So it goes back to what we were saying the last time you were on, and we were talking about jewelry, and most of the time the jewelry piece itself does not necessarily have value other than the metal that it's made with, right?
That's right.
Mhm.
It has value in terms of the melt value of the silver, but because I can't see the underside, I cannot guess at all what the cutlery is made out of,
Mm-hmm.
or if it even has any silver.
Okay.
Correct. Okay. So then it would be a similar situation with.
The same thing.
Same thing.
I want to look behind the fork and behind the spoon to see what's what. This set is very beautiful, very stately, but I have no idea of its potential value because I can't tell the quantity of silver
Hmm.
if there is any silver.
Okay,
And
good to
then
know. So anybody who sends in cutlery sets, make sure you send a picture of the back of it as well if there's a marking.
Right, and a back picture for a fork, a knife, a spoon, whatever you have. I'm looking for the hallmarks and something that would say what it's made of,
Okay.
because they have to state what it's made of. A lot of times you had the Rogers, Canadian company of cutlery, and they would have different names of silver, but it wouldn't be sterling silver. They would have Rogers silver plate, Rogers something. They would have a hallmark or two, but it didn't mean that there's any silver in the cutlery.
Okay.
Gotcha.
No.
Okay.
I've got a question, John. If the cutlery is pure silver, it's still okay. I know it's a stupid question, but if you eat with pure silver, it's not going to do anything to you, is it?
No, it might improve your health because silver is a antibacterial metal.
Oh,
In World War One, Germany made their canteens, their water canteens, out of silver because it killed the bacteria inside the canteen.
good to know.
Interesting.
And what about gold? What about if your cutlery is actual gold? Is there such a thing? I've got
Well,
a that's a gold. I'm sure.
if somebody is using a pure gold fork or spoon, I have to say that he has the golden spoon, in his mouth.
Yeah.
Because that's very
Okay.
rare.
And you know the old adage of sharing food with the same fork. Well, if you had a gold spoon and you're sharing dessert, well, that spoon might disappear faster than you could, faster than the dessert.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put the next item, and then I'm gonna remove myself for a second because I have like a coughing fit that I can feel is coming on. So this is the next item. I'm gonna put this slide, and I'll be right back.
Okay. This is ASCO, and ASCO was basically a home care company that manufactured a lot of home products for ladies, men's. They did a lot of travel kits for men and also ladies. And this is a mirror, brush, and comb combination. This is basically, this was very popular 50s, 1960s, where grooming was basically you're in front of a dresser with a mirror and you're brushing your hair or you're brushing your daughter's hair and you're using the mirror lovingly. These were very popular as wedding gifts. Almost everybody in that time got stuff like this as a
Oh,
wedding gift. It doesn't have any gold. It doesn't have any valuable metal. It's a decorative piece. And it is part of history because they did a lot of products for ladies and men. And it says here, Christmas 1958 from George. Okay, well, hopefully George was appreciated. It's a nice gift, not something I would ever use.
but you do, like you say, you do see a lot of old. You see a lot of old movies with
Oh yeah,
the
you see a lot of
brushing.
old movies. You look at Casablanca, Gone
Yeah.
with the Wind.
Yeah.
You look at any of the movies from the 30s to 50s, and you're gonna see the woman in front with a handheld mirror,
Yeah.
and the comb. Anybody that had beautiful hair would appreciate a comb.
Yeah.
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 So did
The
you
uh,
appraise it while I was gone, or?
well, stuff like this could be found on Etsy for around $40. They're asking about $40. Are they getting $40? hard to say.
Okay.
You might spend 2 hours trying to sell an item like this on Etsy
Yeah.
or on Facebook Marketplace, and is it worth your time?
Mm-hmm.
This is something that could be donated to an agency that somebody hopefully will appreciate it, or you put it up for $25 and see if you get any takers. But there are a
I
lot of
see them periodically sometimes in secondhand stores.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
It's a very pretty piece.
It is pretty.
It
It's
is.
very pretty. It's
Yeah,
a
very
little
elegant.
showpiece.
Yeah, it's elegant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, should we move on
Next.
to the next one?
Yep.
All right. So we have
Okay.
this.
This is a Windsor rocking chair, and this was made by definitely a small local woodworker who basically sold furniture. He used a model, and basically he made tons of these chairs. It's called a Windsor rocking chair. The back spindles have the bow of a Windsor chair, and basically it's a fan back, wood armrests, and the two rockers.
Mm-hmm.
The legs are hand carved. All the wooden pieces that are turned are hand carved. They're not machine carved. They're hand carved. The
Wow.
chair is used. If it's still usable condition, chairs like this go for around $250 because what happens is that these are fairly unique.
Mm-hmm.
To buy a replacement, a modern chair like this, you're looking at about $450.
Mm-hmm.
And it will not be the same wood, and it will not be a handmade chair.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that is ideal to keep it as it is or to refinish it, to have it stripped and basically sanded a little bit just to get the rough edges or the nicks that have been made over the years, and then finished with a stain.
So
They're beautiful, they're
since you're
usable.
since you're talking about that, like that's a question I've always had because I've always been in under the impression that as soon as you touch an item or like change it in any way, it loses its value. Is that correct?
Not in this case, because there are countless number of examples that exist today. It's hard to say when this was made, but it looks like it's over 100 years old. So from the wood cutting, it could even be even older, but it's really hard to tell with just from the pictures. But in this
Mm-hmm.
case, the chair is already heavily used. It's heavily disfigured in terms of the coloration. So whatever you do to the chair is not going to take away any value because this is used
Oh.
as a chair, as a usable chair.
Mm-hmm. So
And
what cases would something lose value for our viewers who are watching? Like when is it a no, 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 don't touch it?
well, there are examples of upper Canadian furniture that still exist that you do not touch those no matter how bad it looks. You do
Mm-hmm.
not touch it. It could be cleaned, but then again, you're looking for a specialized restore liquid to bring out the beauty of the wood, not to change the color of the wood or the coloration. That examples like that, or furniture that has come over from Europe when the mass migration from the let's say the 1700s to the 1850s. You don't touch any of those pieces at all.
Mm-hmm.
You leave it in its natural state.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
I have an obsession with chairs, John. I love buying chairs. It's just I've had to stop now because I don't have any more room in my tiny house. I love chairs, and there's so many beautiful styles out there.
The largest collection of Windsor chairs is at the Whitner Museum in Delaware. It's the DuPont estate. DuPont, the founder of the chemical company, built a massive mansion. We're talking about it's on acres. It's not square feet. It's acres, and he has over 400 Windsor chairs of various variations and
Hmm.
different configurations
Hmm.
in his museum, which was a home before, but now has been turned over as a museum.
Wow.
So you would love that, and you would love that place.
Oh, I do. Well, you know what aspect of chairs I like is a lot of them have different tapestries on them. That's
Yeah.
not just the plain wood. I
Yeah.
love the tapestry patterns. But like I
So we
say,
have a question. Ronald McDonald says, "Does it matter what color the wood is?"
Not in terms of the chair that we just saw. It could be stained into any dark ash or auburn or
okay. But you wouldn't want to
brownish.
go. You wouldn't want to go making it into blue or something like that, would you? That would
Mm-mm.
ruin it, wouldn't it? Like putting like a blue paint on it, or
Well, it wouldn't be a paint, but it would be a stain.
Mhm.
There are tints available that would be, let's say, blue, because colonial blue did exist as a color even in the 1700s. So it was a mixture of cobalt, which was a mineral, mixed in with the tannis or the muck that they were doing for the stain,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
they had blue chairs.
But you wouldn't
okay.
recommend painting over it, like just plain
No, no,
paint.
no.
Okay, that would
This would have
ruin
to
it.
be,
Hmm.
this would have to be cleaned with a steel wool brush a little bit.
Okay.
Not a steel wool brush, but a steel wool. Just lightly, just sanded to remove some of the hard areas. Have it stripped down with a chemical stripper, and then once that's done, then applying stain and rubbing the stain in with an emery type clot or a microfiber type clot, and you
Mhm.
might have to do a few passes,
Okay.
and then you let it dry, and then you'll have a very nice finish.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Julia,
But
Julia, can I just ask you and John, on the picture of the chair, on the fireplace, there was a glass vase. Look behind
Yes.
it.
Yeah, I see.
There's a better picture of that actually. Go back. There's another one.
Oh, there it is.
okay,
So I'm interested because I know that there's a name for those, and I don't want you to appraise it, but if there's a name and if it's the real McCoy, what would you have to look for on it?
um, well, first of all, I would be looking for a maker's signature. The glass makers, they always sign their work unless it's a mass-produced piece. If
Okay.
it's a mass-produced piece, there will be telltale signs that it was blown in a mold. Think of a box. You cut the box in half, and you have the mold inside. What they do is they blow the glass into this, and you would basically see that it's a molded piece. There would be a telltale ridge that would be visible.
Okay, because I have a piece like that. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
It looks like they're putting their light bulbs in there right now.
Sure, you
It's a
zoom in.
light
Oh,
light bulb
Mo-
holder.
Moving on.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. This is being a ham radio operator, full disclosure here, and being involved in communications since I was young enough to put bobby pins in electrical sockets to see how sharp.
Oh God.
That's when I lost my hair, by the way. Never came back. These things go at radio electronic flea markets for about $5 to $10. Only if the antenna, the telescopic antenna, is intact and not broken.
Okay.
Not more than this. It has really no historical value. You could pick up a portable CB for I think $49 today that would do far better than this unit can. Somebody who would buy this would be basically buying it for nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
They had one 40 years ago, and they said, "Hey, I had one at $5. I'll buy it." You know, it is nothing more than that.
Nostalgia. Okay.
Okay, moving on to our last piece. This dining room and hutch.
Okay, this is walnut and oak chairs and table and the hutch. It's in excellent condition. I could see that you haven't rebuilt a car engine on the table. Yeah. The value is in people are fed up with buying IKEA or stuff that comes from China that is made with pressed wood or other types of wood that is basically finished to look like real wood.
Mm-hmm.
Real wood furniture is always in demand because it doesn't warp. It doesn't crumble if it gets moist like pressed wood does. To replace something like this today, made in Canada, you're looking very easily at $4,000.
Wow. Wow.
And you're not going to find this at the Brick or Leon's. You're going to find a lot of stuff from China that look like this, but it's Chinese made. Wood like this with the chairs, the chairs, by the way, are Windsor style chairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a set like this with the buffet, because it doesn't have a top cabinet, which is hated and not appreciated today, but a bottom cabinet like this that serves as a serving area or as a staging area for the food, this is ideal.
Mm-hmm. It's a very beautiful piece.
For people who are looking for something that when they move is going to be solid and not going to be falling apart in their hands, in the mover's hands, very easily $1,500 to $2,000. The and that's conservative because the buffet style like this is easily anywhere from 700 to 800. The chairs usually go for about $50 to $75, depending on the marketplace, and the table, you know, $700, $800.
It's in great shape.
It is
Well,
because
I'm going to tell you, it's mine. It's
Oh.
obviously, you can see we haven't finished the floor yet. This is from inside the tiny house. We're still working on the floor. But yeah, this, when my mom moved, she gave this to me, and it was an antique when she bought it, when her and my dad bought it in England many years ago, like probably 50, 60 years ago. It was already an antique at an antique shop. So that's why I was curious. It also has a leaf that goes in there, John, and it seats easily about 10 people when the leaf is on. It's very heavy. It's a very heavy piece.
Yeah, it's something because homes today, the options are buying stuff at Leon's or the brick. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you're looking at faux wood or wood that is really not real. You're
Yeah.
looking at wood that has been sourced from Vietnam and finished to make it look as if it was very nice.
Mhm.
Pieces like this are timeless. It's not something that you're going to find in a downtown 2-bedroom condo in Toronto. Wood floor to ceiling windows, but in most of the homes around the SDG area, this would be sought after. This would be
My Lisa, is it on wheels? Your buffet?
appreciated.
Yeah, it is.
Oh
It
wow,
is.
that's so
It is
so
on
cool.
wheels. And again, a
When
very heavy piece. It's quite heavy.
when I saw the picture here, I thought I thought this was the piece that they were sending the radio. I was curious about the radio. Is that like new or new to made look old, or is it old?
No, it's new to made. It's new made to look old.
Okay.
Uh, um, no, I think this also has a record player.
It does. It's got a record player, it's got a CD player and a cassette play, like,
Oh,
the tape player. It has all
yeah.
that. Yeah, is there any value to those actually, John? Because I saw one for sale for $100.
Yeah, that's how much they're going for.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm looking for right now? I'm looking for an old record player, like the stereos we used to have, like back in the 70s, 80s. Well, more 70s. Like we used to have when I was growing up. My dad had this piece of furniture that was like a record player
Yeah.
and a radio, and I
Yeah.
want, because like vinyls are back on in style, right? So I'm buying vinyls, but I just have a small little record player and just looking for one of those. I can't find them anywhere. I saw one at what's it called, Habitat, but it was non-functioning. So
No,
Oh,
if you guys hear of one available somewhere, let me know.
no, you basically turntables today. I think the cheapest is about $495, $500.
Mhm.
wow.
Because the cartridge, the diamond cartridge, it's not just a little needle anymore. It's a cartridge assembly that goes on the arm, and they're expensive. You're right.
Mhm.
Vinyl is coming back because of the
Mhm.
richness of the sound,
Yep.
and audiophiles. There's no limit to how much you could pay for a turntable. I have seen a turntable at $21,000.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Too rich for my blood.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
anyways, folks, if you have an old stereo for sale, just contact me. I'm a buyer.
No, you're looking for just the turntable, right?
No, I want the piece of furniture
Why? They're
because I
heavy.
love it. They're beautiful.
They're
well,
I
we
heavy.
had
have it in my living room.
one when I was in England when we were growing up. I know exactly what you're talking about. So
Oh,
you've got the turntable and then the rest of it. It's like a big buffet kind of thing too.
kind
Yeah,
of,
it
That's
is.
yes.
what I
Well, it looks
prefer.
like your hutch right there, but like
Yeah,
bigger.
it's got
Yeah,
a
it's
turntable
just
in it.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
we
a
had that.
radio.
It
And
would be far cheaper to get a used hutch like that, put bookshelf
a
speakers
newer.
inside, put the turntable on top. you have a place for the records, and you get a small little receiver.
Mm-hmm. True.
It's still not what she's looking for. I can tell. Look at her face. She wants the actual
Yeah,
thing.
it's you were talking about the CB and sorry, the nostalgia. Well, this is what it is. It's buying for the nostalgia of it.
Yeah, the
Tr-
retro.
trouble is, stereo just came into play like mid 1960s.
Mhm.
Even 1967, stereo was not popular because most of those consoles were mono, meaning just one
One.
channel.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you would have to be looking at something like from the 70s on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what we had. And like I was looking at some on Marketplace, and it's just I want the one that we used to have. Like I can't find that one,
But the ones on Marketplace, they were asking too much.
300,
Like
400, 300, $400. Yeah. What do you think that's worth nowadays?
there's some people who'll even give it away if you come and pick it up,
Mhm.
because these are not popular at all.
Mhm.
There's really no demand for them. The really classic ones that had a tube amplifier, uh, they're far and few between. They're very hard to find,
Mhm.
and a lot of the time they have been destroyed, and somebody took the tubes out, saying, "Oh, I'll keep the tubes," and
Oh,
basically got rid of the item and destroyed the console because
Mhm.
they were mono. Um,
Mhm.
they were not stereo, but you know, not more than $100, maybe $150, depending on the condition. If it's a
Okay.
non-smoker, you don't want somebody that was a smoker for the past 60 years with an item like this in the house.
Oh, so the smoke would damage it?
they would
it's not a
permeate
question
into it.
of damage it. The
It would.
tar will get onto everything, on all the
Oh,
components, um, increase the heat of the components because
oh,
there's a film of tar.
Oh, wow.
And
Never
also
thought of that.
the cabinet would have
wow.
to be really deep cleaned, and you're spending a lot of time.
Huh.
And Lord knows everybody smoked back then, so
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. We look at pictures of birthday parties from back then, and everybody's around the table with a cigarette in their hands. I'm like, oh my
yeah,
God, people were on planes for 6 hours smoking. It's
yeah.
yeah.
really scary thinking
I
about
Well,
it.
remember my mom bringing me to a bingo hall, and it was
Oh,
like a smoke fest. Like it was crazy.
today that would be child abuse.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, I don't know
I
how
don't
we
know.
don't have
I don't know how
all
you
all of us.
survived.
No, I don't know. Like I don't know how we don't all have lung cancer. Maybe that's why my voice is raspy today.
But folks, if you have anything that you want to get appraised, John is with us on the first Monday of every month, and you need to send your items in to appraisals with an S at thesika.ca, and then John will get the pictures. And remember, if there's cutlery, you need to send a picture of the backside to get the hallmark.
Yeah,
The
but it
marking
doesn't
on it.
only apply to cutlery. Like, make sure that your pictures are really great. Videos are good too, right, John? Like,
But for cutlery, anything that looks like silver, I'm looking for a defined picture of the hallmarks and any marking that
Yeah,
is on the page.
okay,
good to know.
all right.
Because you're going to be faced with an image of, let's say, a coffee pot, and it says silver coffee pot, but it's not a silver coffee pot. But then it sells uh, in an online auction place for a ridiculous amount of money,
Mhm,
and you really don't know what the hell you're buying because you can't see if there's any hallmarks,
mhm.
or there's very limited information. There's no weight. So you're basically bidding up an item on the hopes that it might be silver.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See,
Okay.
I have a little ring here, John, and it actually has the silver hallmark in it. It's engraved in it. I just
Cool.
looked.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, John. We'll let you go. Won't take too much of more of your time, your precious time, and we always appreciate your input and your expertise. And we'll see you again next month.
And
No problem. Thank you very
we
much.
learned so much when you come on. So much. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
All right. See you.
No
See you
problem.
next month.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye for
Bye.
now. Wow. No, that was very interesting. That show was, I love it when he comes on because there'll be an item, but then he'll talk about so many things related to it. It's amazing.
Yep.
So yeah, folks,
Yep.
sure you
Absolutely.
have a month to send in your antiques. And when I say send in your old items, I don't mean send in pictures of your husband or wife. Thank you very much. I had to say that. Sorry. So
Oh.
appraisals at theseeker.ca. And we already have a few things for John to look at next time. We did have an antique Dresden litho paint lamp sent in, but unfortunately it came in late last night, so he didn't have a chance to look at it. That will be the first item that he will be talking about next month.
Next month. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So before we leave, you have some stuff for us today, Marlies.
Yeah, I have a few events. There's a few things going on. In fact, this evening at the Glengarian in Cornwall at 7 o'clock, there's an event called Story Slam, which is happening. Registration starts at 7. So basically, the title is Stories About Bad Advice. So you go in and you have a beer, and then you stand up and you chat and tell stories, stuff about bad advice. And apparently it's really good. Last time they had about 5 people telling different stories. That was a
Okay.
stormy night. Yeah, I actually think
That's a different concept.
yeah, so they're going to be doing that every month. But this month the theme is bad advice. So if you've had bad advice, go talk about it. Then we have tomorrow, March the 4th at 5:30. There's improv for juniors, ages 5 to 7, at 125 Pitt Street in Cornwall. It's put on by Miss D.
Yes,
Rosier. She's awesome. This
I
lady is
know.
awesome. If you have a chance to take one of her workshops, she's amazing. So at 5:30, 4 till 5:30, it's improv junior. And then at 8 o'clock tomorrow, it's improv for, oh, sorry. Yeah, improv for adults is at 8 tomorrow. And Thursday, March the 6th, she's got acting improv for youth ages 7 to 11 at 6 o'clock, again at 125 Pitt Street Studio. So there's all kinds of age groups that you can go, and she's amazing. You have to take one of her workshops. We have Friday, March the 7th at 7:30, Ryan Lalonde, Magic Moments at Allsville Theatre. Apparently another great performance. He does this, I think, once a year, and he's very, very good. And then March the 8th, which is this Saturday, 7 to 11, at Big Ben, there's an event that says no parents allowed. It's
Ooh.
teen night. So that should be a good time. Free Hill Pass, equipment available, live music, ages 11 to 18 only. That is happening this Saturday. Also this what else March the 10th at 8:30 till March the 14th. There's some Seaway Valley Theatre Company's March Break theatre camp going on. Can you believe it's already March break next week?
I know. Like, where did the time go? It was Christmas a few days ago. feels.
I know. So we've got a couple of March break events going on. Like I say, that one is March the 10th to the 14th, starting at 8:30 in the morning. I think you need to register for that. So if you need more information, go to svtc.ca/March break camp. And also March the 13th at 9:30 at Ontario Power Generation, there's Bring Back the Wild Earth Rangers at OPG. It's another event for March break.
Cool, cool, cool.
That's kind of all I've got, except there's one event that I'm really, really looking forward to. They are bringing back CD Saturday. Remember last year?
Yes.
It was called Transition into Spring, and I'm like, that
Mhm.
doesn't mean the same thing. They've renamed it CD Saturday. It's happening March the 15th from 10 to 2 at the Civic Complex. I love that name,
Cool.
CD Saturday.
Yeah, it's so much more telling of what it is, you
It
know.
does. It does. I can actually smell the spring in that event. It's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
But Julia,
Mm-hmm.
I've got one thing I've got to ask you before we go. So I know at the there's a lot of talk about the college closing, our college. It's
No.
not the college closing, it's the programs that are
Yes, not
phasing
closing,
out.
but I mean it's a worrisome trend. Like there were cuts that were done, and like it's the reason behind it has a lot to do with, like, there's a variety of reasons, right? Like there's
Mm-hmm.
the cuts were made because, like, the federal government has kind of stopped the incoming of student
Yeah.
visas, like, so that played a role in it. But like the federal, like, the funding is provincial, like it's the provincial government that funds the programs, and then, but their decision to cut was also because of the federal who's cut the, so there's no money coming in other words, and
Yeah.
so we have lost 45% of our programs have been cut at the college, and it's a worrisome trend. It's like people are worried that, like, a lot of people are getting laid off because of it, right? Like
Yeah.
the staff would be
Yeah.
hurting, because if you
Yeah.
cut the programs, obviously you're going to cut the staff that's giving the program.
Yep.
And so yeah, so it's just a worrisome trend. It's a worrisome trend, and I'm really hoping that it's not the beginning of the end, like a lot of people are concerned, and we can't lose this college. Like, this college is very important to this community. It's a hub for so much. It's a hub for, like,
Yep.
arts. It's a hub for, like, it's training new people that would stay in the community, that will be
Mm-hmm.
invested in this community. There's also, like, some people cannot afford going out of town to university, and so it gives them an option to go to this college and stay home. So many reasons. I've put up a top 10 reason in my editorial this month
I
about,
know.
like, why this college is so important to this community, and why, Nolan Quinn, congratulations, you've been reelected, and you're the minister of colleges and university, and you
Yeah.
need to um, make sure that this college stays in this community, and that it is properly funded. Not only that it stays, but that it thrives. It needs to thrive.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah, because
Yeah,
a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the college is closing," but no, it's not the college closing. It's shutting down
not
some of the
yet.
programs.
Not yet.
And yeah, let's hope it doesn't. I went to that college. It's a really good college. I did my art, graphic design, and photography and fine arts there. But my goodness, has it changed since I
Of
was
course.
there in '79? It is really beautiful. It's a
Hmm.
really beautiful place.
It is, and that's where our theater goes. Like our
Yep.
musicals
Also theater.
happen. Like the film fest happened there. Like,
Yep.
it would be a shame to see it close.
Yeah, it would definitely be.
Mm. But
Anyway,
hopefully that's not happening. So
no, I hope not. Anyway, Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you have any events, I do want to let you know that if you share your event page to our group, which has now been renamed, it is still the same group, but its name is now SDG&A Cornwall Seeker Local Events and Community Happenings. Please share your events to the group, and those events will automatically be picked up by the Seekers online calendar on our website.
Yeah. And so that's it. Hopefully, I'll feel better next week. So have yourself a wonderful day.
And a super duper week. Bye for
See you
now.
next time. Bye.